Noticias 62 en vivo a las 12.
Gracias por la información, Giovanni. Se reunieron la familia del donante de órganos, José Luis Cruz, con el beneficiado de nombre Jorge Padilla, quien tenía necesidad de un hígado. Estas familias de ambos, el donador y el receptor, se vieron hoy por primera vez y fue un momento muy emotivo para ambas familias de origen mexicano.
Los organizadores del desfile de las Rosas han planeado que uno de los carros alegóricos del desfile se construirá en honor al donante fallecido y a su receptor, como inspiración para crear conciencia sobre la donación de órganos.
NBC4 News at 4 starts now.
A young organ donor will be honored in this year's Rose Parade, and today his family met the man whose life was saved by that donation. NBC4's Gordon Tokumatsu reports it was their first meeting and a deeply meaningful gathering.
It was a moment that neither family will soon forget. Sobs, tears, heartfelt hugs. The man in the sunglasses is George Padilla, and the people he's meeting here for the first time ever
My son did a good job.
are the family of the man who saved his life but never met him in person. His name was Jose Luis Cruz, just 23 years old when he was killed in a drive-by shooting in Long Beach. It was December of 2012, and George's doctors had just told him his liver had failed and he had 2 weeks to live.
I was 5 days short of my life.
But that's where One Legacy came in. The nonprofit matches potential organ donors like Cruz with patients in dire straits like Padilla. Jose Luis's perfect, healthy liver is now inside George's body. In a rare move, both families agreed to finally meet in person.
This past week, it was like a month for me. Last night, I couldn't sleep.
We're thinking about it.
And remember the young man whose incredible gift made George's new life possible through a twist of fate and a perfect match.
He was very generous. Yes, he was. He loved helping out other people.
Este es su noticiero Telemundo 52 a las 5.
Una bala mata a un joven, pero su familia le da una segunda oportunidad de vida a un padre de familia.
Hoy se vivió una emotiva reunión entre la familia que donó el hígado de un joven y el recipiente de este órgano. La ceremonia honró la vida de José Luis Cruz, quien murió en el año 2012 cuando tenía 23 años. Jorge Padilla, beneficiado con este órgano, agradeció a la familia de Cruz y como dato curioso contó que ahora le gustan mucho los chocolates y ahora se parece a José Luis porque según su familia a él le gustaban mucho esos dulces.
Agradecido por la nueva vida que decidieron, que fue muy duro decidir donar sus órganos de José Luis. Ha sido mi cambio de vida. Él es mi hero.
Cruz también será honrado en la carroza de Dona Vida que participará en el desfile de las Rosas.
Y a propósito del desfile.
Ahora, Noticias 62 en vivo a las 5.
Y ahora vea esto, se reunieron la familia del donante de órganos José Luis Cruz con el beneficiado de nombre Jorge Padilla, quien tenía la necesidad médica de un hígado. Las familias de ambos, donador y receptor, se conocieron hoy. Fue un momento muy emotivo para ambas familias de origen mexicano.
Pudieras haber sido tú o mi hijo el que necesitaba un órgano. Gracias a él, 5 personas están vivas todavía.
Los organizadores del desfile de las Rosas han planeado que uno de los carros alegóricos del desfile se construirá en honor al donante fallecido y a su receptor, como inspiración para crear conciencia sobre la donación de órganos.
Tears and hugs as a man meets the family who donated organs of their loved one, saving his life. An emotional reunion for 2 families following a life-saving organ donation. Jorge Padilla hugged the mother of Jose Luis Cruz as soon as he walked into the room at One Legacy. The 2 families meeting for the first time since Padilla received Cruz's liver. The 23-year-old organ donor died in 2012. The families couldn't contain their emotions as Padilla thanked them for Cruz's life-saving gift and showed them a picture he keeps on his cell phone wallpaper as a daily reminder.
He's my hero. He's my hero. He's my angel, my guardian angel. And I think like you see me, he says he was strong, he was active, he was positive man. That's exactly how I feel.
He was very generous. Yes, he was. He loved helping out other people. He loved eating. He liked exploring different restaurants. So your cheeks are gonna go.
Since the transplant, Padilla says his life has changed for the better. Cruz will be honored in the Donate Life float in the 2019 Rose Parade.
Christmas is... Ahora, no es muy común que familiares de donantes de órganos conozcan a las familias de los beneficiados, pero hoy familiares de José Luis Cruz conocieron a la familia de Jorge Padilla, el joven que recibió el regalo de vida por el trasplante de hígado. El donante falleció a los 23 años y sus órganos salvaron 5 vidas. Su familia será reconocida en el carro alegórico Dona Vida en el paseo Desfile de las Rosas.
Ahora, en vivo para todos los Estados Unidos.
Emotivo encuentro entre dos familias unidas por una esperanza de vida.
He's my hero, he's my angel, my guardian angel.
Esto es Noticiero Estrella TV con Adriana Yáñez.
Y a pocos días de la Navidad, dos familias marcadas por la donación de órganos se vieron por primera vez en Los Ángeles. Entre abrazos, risa y llanto, recordaron el milagro que los unió por siempre. Rosa María Orbach nos informa.
No. 5 órganos. José Luis tenía solo 23 años cuando perdió la vida. Un hombre disparó en la calle y él fue la víctima.
La bala fue por la cabeza. El camino para el hospital y todo fue desesperante. Y llegando al hospital nos dimos cuenta que mi hijo estaba ya muerto cerebral, cual yo no tenía idea de qué significaba eso. Fue una cosa que yo, el día que enterré a mi hijo, que parte de mí quedó allí.
La familia aceptó que su hijo donara sus órganos a 5 personas que estaban entre la vida y la muerte.
Me siento muy contento porque sé que ya hay algo vivo de mi hijo.
El momento de conocer al recipiente de hígado llegó y este fue el emotivo encuentro.
El cambio de vida ha sido maravilloso, especialmente cuando uno tiene niñas chiquitas, para entregarle todo lo que pues él no le entregó a sus hijas, y ahora quiero entregar lo que tengo pues de él a sus hijas, que tengo una parte de su ángel.
Los abrazos y el llanto de ambas familias eran interminables. La madre de José Luis entregó un libro de recuerdos.
Vamos a regalar este álbum. Es un poco de una carta de cada de nosotros. Este es un álbum donde yo te cuento un poquito cómo era mi hijo, cada una de mis hijas, lo que era para cada uno. Era muy especial en nuestra vida.
Y es que sin duda alguna, la donación de órganos es un hermoso regalo de vida. Soy Rosa María Orbach, Noticiero Estrella TV.
From ABC 7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on KDOC TV.
An emotional reunion for 2 families following a life-saving organ donation. Jorge Padilla hugged his mother, Jose Luis Cruz, as soon as he walked into the room at One Legacy. The 2 families meeting for the first time since Padilla received Cruz's liver. The 23-year-old organ donor died in 2012. The families couldn't contain their emotions as Padilla thanked them for Cruz's life-saving gift and showed them a picture he keeps on his cell phone wallpaper as a daily reminder.
He's my hero. He's my hero. He's my angel, my guardian angel. And I think like you see me, he says he was strong, he was active, he was positive man. That's exactly how I feel.
He was very generous. Yes, he was. He loved helping out other people. He loved eating. He liked exploring different restaurants. So your cheeks are gonna go.
Well, since the transplant, Padilla says his life has changed for the better. Cruz will be honored in the Donate Life float in the 2019 Rose Parade.
We are, just a few days away, less than a week away from the 2019 Tournament of Roses Parade.
And volunteers are working around the clock constantly to get those floats ready. Let's check back in right now with Gail Anderson live in Irwin.
Hey,
Gail
Gail
has been bringing us so many amazing stories. Gail, good morning.
This is an emotional story, an emotional float. Donate Life. They've been in the Rose Parade for 16 years. Their float, the name of their float, Rhythm of the Heart. We're going to meet some of the people involved with this float, and one of them is Jolene Vargas, float rider and organ donor recipient.
I'm a recipient 2 times, and I'm on the list for a 3rd time.
What happened?
I was born with a hereditary disease that attacked my kidneys.
And Rachel, you are what I'm told would be described as an altruistic donor. Explain that to people.
A Good Samaritan or altruistic donor is someone who gives away a kidney to someone they don't know because someone needs it.
Why would you do that? It's such that's a real gift, a real Christmas gift.
Yeah, well, I was inspired from a news show Katie Couric did about kidney chains quite a few years ago and decided to do it. And my grandma inspired me as well because she donated my uncle's organs when he passed away when I was just a kid. So I heard the stories about him all through my life and thought it would be a great thing for me to do while I was still alive, is to pay it forward.
Wow. And then we have Nicole Ocasio, donor mother, and Karen Llewellyn, donor sister. This is the young man you're talking about and why you're involved with the float.
Yes, this is my brother Dennis Brown, and he passed away 10 years ago, and when he became deceased, we decided to donate his organs, and he was able to save 4 different people's lives. And what's really important is that during a sad time, we were able to take comfort in knowing that his heart was transferred into the person in the very next room. So it's very fitting that he's on this float this year, you know, with the Rhythm of the Heart.
Mom, was that a difficult decision?
No, it wasn't, because I worked in a hospital and we help with the organ and tissue donation, and my mind was made up right away what we were going to do to help other people.
Thank you all. Thank you all for making time, because their float is quite detailed and quite beautiful. Congratulations on Rhythm of the Heart. This year's, well, the 2019 Tournament of Roses Parade Donate Life float.
And we want to remind you, KTLA is your Rose Parade station, and we're just 5 days from the 2019 Tournament of Roses.
Volunteers right now working around the clock to get those floats ready. Gail Anderson is in Irwindale, checking in on a float that honors people who are saving lives through incredible kindness.
This is an emotional story, an emotional float. Donate Life. They've been in the Rose Parade for 16 years. Their float, the name of their float, Rhythm of the Heart. We're going to meet some of the people involved with this float, and one of them is Jolene Vargas, float rider and organ donor recipient.
I'm a recipient 2 times, and I'm on the list for a 3rd time.
What happened?
I was born with a hereditary disease that attacked my kidneys.
And Rachel, you are what I'm told would be described as an altruistic donor. Explain that to people.
A Good Samaritan or altruistic donor is someone who gives away a kidney to someone they don't know because someone needs it.
Why would you do that? It's that's a real gift, a real Christmas gift.
Yeah, well, I was inspired from a news show Katie Couric did about kidney chains quite a few years ago and decided to do it. And my grandma inspired me as well because she donated my uncle's organs when he passed away when I was just a kid. So I heard the stories about him all through my life and thought it would be a great thing for me to do while I was still alive, is to pay it forward.
Wow. And then we have Nicole Ocasio, donor mother, and Karen Llewellyn, donor sister. This is the young man you're talking about and why you're involved with the float.
Yes, this is my brother Dennis Brown, and he passed away 10 years ago, and when he became deceased, we decided to donate his organs, and he was able to save 4 different people's lives. And what's really important is that during a sad time, we were able to take comfort in knowing that his heart was transferred into the person in the very next room. So it's very fitting that he's on this float this year, you know, with the Rhythm of the Heart.
Mom, was that a difficult decision?
No, it wasn't, because I worked in a hospital and we help with the organ and tissue donation, and my mind was made up right away what we were going to do to help other people.
thank you all. Thank you all for making time, because their float is quite detailed and quite beautiful. Congratulations on Rhythm of the Heart. This year's, well, the 2019 Tournament of Roses Parade Donate Life Float.
Well, there are so many beautiful floats during the Tournament of Roses Parade, including the Donate Life float, which is dedicated to organ donors.
And today, a touching reunion between the family of one of those donors and the recipient. KTLA 5's Aaron Myers live in Pasadena with this great story. Aaron.
Good afternoon, you two. I got to be a part of that meeting, and it was very heartwarming. It was so nice to be there and see what this young woman did to help another person. Now, these two ladies had never met the mother of the donor and the recipient. This was the first time in person. They had spoken on the phone, and now they tell us they will be lifelong friends. An emotional meeting with tears and embraces between Janice Drexler and her cornea donor's mother, Nancy Ponte, earlier today. The very first time the two women have met face to face.
To see her face and to look her in the eye and know that my daughter helped her is pretty amazing.
19-year-old Haley Ponte tragically lost her life due to an asthma attack 3 years ago. But because of her selfless action of organ donation, she saved 3 lives and helped many others.
She always wanted to help everybody. She'd give you her last dollar. She did not care.
Janice Drexler's vision so bad she could no longer work, but Haley gave her a second chance. Janice is working, can care for her elderly mother, and will now have a very special moment early next year.
In February, we are expecting our first grandchild. So Haley's gift to me has made that a much brighter day to look forward to, because my world was getting pretty gray.
Now Haley Ponte, who is studying to be a physician, will be honored during this year's Rose Parade. A floral image of her on the Donate Life float, a reminder to all why organ donation is so important.
I can't even tell enough people to go out there and register to be a donor, because you don't have any idea the gifts you're giving people.
Both women telling us Haley is always on their minds.
A day does not go by that I don't think about Haley. She was a bright, shining star, and she had a big heart.
She's my angel. I have a picture of her on my phone. I look at it every day, and I thank her every day.
We do know the Ponte family will be helping decorate the Donate Life float within the next couple of days, and currently there are more than 100,000 people waiting for life-saving transplants. That's the very latest here in Pasadena. I'm Aaron Myers. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Coming up, our top local story, an emotional meeting in Pasadena between the parents of an organ donor and the woman who can see because of their daughter.
I'm Brian Ping. Our top local story at 2:03. An emotional meeting today between the family of a teenage organ donor and one of the people who received the 19-year-old's organs.
Haley's gift to me has made that a much brighter day to look forward to, because my world was getting pretty gray.
Janice Drexler and the mother of Haley Ponte embraced. She says she's grateful because she was losing her sight before receiving one of Haley's corneas 3 years ago after the teen died of an asthma attack.
We are expecting our first grandchild. So Haley's gift to me has made that a much brighter day.
Drexler says it took a while to reach out to Haley's mother, Nancy, who says she's been wanting to meet the 3 people who received one of her daughter's organs.
That Haley was able to help her. And I think what was really hit me in the heart, what she had said, that she's going to be able to see her grandchild.
Haley will be among the 44 honored on the Donate Life Rose Parade float. In Pasadena, Karen Adams, KNX 1070 News Radio.
3:07. The family of an organ donor who'll be honored at the Rose Parade in Pasadena met for the first time today with one of the recipients of their daughter's organs.
She died at 19 of an asthma attack 3 years ago. Janice Drexler, who was losing her sight, received one of Haley Ponte's corneas. She says after the surgery, she kept having a vision of a woman grieving.
When I saw Nancy, it was her. I didn't see her face in my vision, but I believe it was her, and I believe Haley was showing me her mom.
She says she'll now be able to see her grandson, expected to be born in February, and take care of her aging mother. Ponte's mother, Nancy, says meeting Drexler now was overwhelming.
To see her face and to look her in the eye and know that my daughter helped her is pretty amazing.
She says she's now an organ donor and encourages others to give the gift of life. A fan of the Rose Parade, she says she's proud Haley will be among the 44 people honored on the Donate Life float. In Pasadena, Karen Adams, KNX 1070 News Radio.
There are so many beautiful floats with special meaning during the Tournament of Roses Parade, including the Donate Life float, dedicated to organ donors. And today, a touching reunion as the family of one donor met the recipient for the first time. KTLA's Erin Myers was there for the touching meeting and how their lives have changed. She joins us live from Pasadena. Erin.
Good evening, Cher. I have to tell you, it was really special to get to share that moment with these two women, a mother meeting the recipient of her daughter's donor. She donated a cornea to this woman, and it has completely changed the woman's life. And now they are working on this float, this donor float. And then that young woman, that donor, Haley Ponte, she will be on this float, her face along with 43 other donors. An emotional meeting with tears and embraces between Janice Drexler and her cornea donor's mother, Nancy Ponte, earlier today. The very first time the two women have met face to face.
To see her face and to look her in the eye and know that my daughter helped her is pretty amazing.
19-year-old Haley Ponte tragically lost her life due to an asthma attack 3 years ago. But because of her selfless action of organ donation, she saved 3 lives and helped many others.
She always wanted to help everybody. She'd give you her last dollar. She did not care.
Janice Drexler's vision so bad she could no longer work, but Haley gave her a second chance. Janice is working, can care for her elderly mother, and will now have a very special moment early next year.
In February, we are expecting our first grandchild. So Haley's gift to me has made that a much brighter day to look forward to, because my world was getting pretty gray.
Now Haley Ponte, who is studying to be a physician, will be honored during this year's Rose Parade. A floral image of her on the Donate Life float, a reminder to all why organ donation is so important.
I can't even tell enough people to go out there and register to be a donor, because you don't have any idea the gifts you're giving people.
Both women telling us Haley is always on their minds.
A day does not go by that I don't think about Haley. She was a bright, shining star, and she had a big heart.
She's my angel. I have a picture of her on my phone. I look at it every day, and I thank her every day.
Haley Ponte's family will be out here to decorate the float within the next day or two, and the two women tell us that they will now be friends for life. That is the very latest here in Irwindale. I'm Erin Myers. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Ahora, no es muy común que familiares de donantes de órganos conozcan a las familias de los beneficiados, pero hoy familiares de José Luis Cruz conocieron a la familia de Jorge Padilla, el joven que recibió el regalo de vida por el trasplante de hígado. El donante falleció a los 23 años y sus órganos salvaron 5 vidas. Su familia será reconocida en el carro alegórico Dona Vida en el paseo Desfile de las Rosas.
Imagine an organ donor family meeting the recipient of that organ for the first time. That's what happened just minutes ago. Lauren Lister live in Pasadena to share what a great holiday story, Lauren.
It really is, and it ties into the Rose Parade. And let me first say that I'm really enjoying hearing how you guys are reflecting on Chris Burrows today. And Shawwell, you did a great job with the 838 stretch. I was so bummed to miss it, but I could hear it in my ear, and it gave me warm fuzzies. So here, take a look. These are all people that have donated their organs. They're all going to be featured on a Rose Parade float, but I want to zero in on one of them. This is Herbert Alberts, died in 2015 in a tragic accident, and today his family just met for the first time a man who received Herbert Albert's heart. Take a look. Our cameras were rolling during this emotional reunion. What you're looking at there is mother of Herbert Alberts. Her name is Jenny, and Evelyn, the woman who was set to marry him, and the couple's 2-year-old son born by IVF after his death. Well, they met for the first time the man who has their loved one's heart. His name is Jeff Ebley. He's here with his family. Now, the victim died in a car accident in 2015 at just 29 years old. Donated his organs. Jeff received received his heart. From Florida, Jeff was born with a number of heart defects that turned into major problems as he got older, and says he would have died in a matter of months without this transplant. We spoke to him right before the reunion. He told us he was filled with anticipation, couldn't sleep all night. Take a listen.
A lot of emotions. You know, happiness, sadness, the whole gamut, really. You know, I'm very thankful for this family, but I also understand the loss that they went through, too. And, you know, I played music professionally for a long time, and so normally, you know, it's a walk in the park, but something like this, it's a whole different thing.
And so I mentioned that Rose Parade float. Here's how this all ties in. Herbert Albert's image will be one of 44 organ donors featured on this float. It's the Donate Life float called Rhythm of the Heart. It'll be in the Rose Parade to bring attention to the need for organ, eye, and tissue donations. Currently, according to the organization, there are more than 100,000 people waiting to get a life-saving transplant. And back out here live, a fun fact for you, this issue and this float is relevant to the Tournament of Roses president, who is a 3-time donor recipient. And you can see the float and you know, see more about how all of these people have impacted other lives when you tune into the Rose Parade. For now, that's the latest live here in Pasadena. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Lauren, thank you so much.
This is Southern California's only 24-hour local news and traffic station, KNX 1070 News Radio.
The family of an organ donor who will be honored at the Rose Parade in Pasadena met for the first time with one of the recipients of their daughter's organs.
She died at 19 of an asthma attack 3 years ago. Janice Drexler, who was losing her sight, received one of Haley Ponte's corneas. She says after the surgery, she kept having a vision of a woman grieving.
I saw Nancy. It was her. I didn't see her face in my vision, but I believe it was her. And I believe Haley was showing me her mom.
She says she'll now be able to see her grandson, expected to be born in February, and take care of her aging mother. Ponte's mother, Nancy, says meeting Drexler now was overwhelming.
To see her face and to look her in the eye and know that my daughter helped her is pretty amazing.
She says she's now an organ donor and encourages others to give the gift of life. A fan of the Rose Parade, she says she's proud Haley will be among the 44 people honored on the Donate Life float. In Pasadena, Karen Adams, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Live from ABC 7, this is Eyewitness News.
They were strangers before today.
But they have a bond that now can't be broken. See the emotional meeting between an organ donor's family and the person who now has his heart when we return. An emotional meeting in Pasadena today where a heart recipient was introduced to the family of his organ donor. Jeff Abel is alive today because Herbert Albert's family selflessly allowed his organs to be donated after he was killed in a car accident more than 3 years ago. This is the first time the two families have met in person. The Alberts family even got to listen to Herbert's heart.
It is a mixed bag of emotions. I'm very happy and very thankful that Herbie was a donor, but it's also, you know, sad knowing what you folks are going through.
It's incredible. Never would I have thought that I would be hearing his heart again.
Albert's other organs were also donated, saving several more lives. His photo is one of 44 featured on this year's Donate Life float at the Rose Parade.
This is NBC4 News.
130th Rose Parade kicks off in less than 35 hours. Can you believe it? And now the race is on to finish all of those floats. To be eligible for award judging, they have to be done by tomorrow morning. NBC4's Gene Kang checked out the progress at Fiesta Floats in Irwindale.
Time is running out to add some sparkle. Thousands of flowers of every kind and materials from Mother Nature.
Beans, strawfish, onion seeds, rice seeds, everything to the detail.
Lono, the Hawaiian god of agriculture, music, and peace on the Dole float. Everything is organic and edible. New this year, Easter Seals celebrates people with disabilities, a massive birthday cake for their centennial anniversary.
Pinwheels with flickering lights on top of our cake, and with our clients on the cake, it's going to be fabulous.
Carnival Cruise Line, part of the 2009 2019 Rose Parade featuring 44 floats, 400 horses, and 21 marching bands.
They have until 8:30 tomorrow morning to get all of this done, but this is the first time ever you're going to see a trampoline on a float.
With all of the fun and laughter, each float tells a different story. Tears of joy for kidney donor Mary Beth Murray and recipient Eric Burge, her own brother-in-law.
It changes you forever.
He'll be on the Donate Life float while she walks in the parade. An internal bond. She saved his life.
Things I might have missed out on if it wasn't for what she did for me.
Their 6-year journey started after she lost her father and sister to kidney failure.
This is a cross that my dad wore, and then this is a teardrop that has some of my sister's ashes in it.
All of these faces never forgotten, dozens of roses to remember their lives.
He is the father of my niece and nephew, who are about the ages that I was when I lost my dad, and I just didn't want them to go through that.
This year's theme, the melody of life. A new year, a new life. In Irwindale, Gene Kang, NBC4 News.
Faltan 2 días para el Desfile de las Rosas 2019.
Y este martes las calles de Pasadena volverán a ser escenario del conocido Paseo de las Rosas. Miles de personas disfrutarán de este magno evento y Liliana Escalante nos muestra cómo se prepara esa ciudad, además de la historia que está detrás del desfile.
Colin Reed es una voluntaria de la carroza Done Vida, cuya misión es destacar la importancia de la donación de órganos en el país, porque ella misma es un testimonio viviente tras ser diagnosticada con cáncer de hígado.
Sí, exactamente. Un donante me salvó la vida. Es en un momento de egoísmo. Esta persona me compartieron la vida muy específicamente a través de su hígado.
Así, cuando este 1 de enero se inicia el tradicional desfile de las rosas en la ciudad de Pasadena, se abre toda una fiesta de colores, música y deportes que en los últimos 130 años han podido disfrutar en vivo miles de personas y millones en todo el mundo a través de la televisión.
Sabemos que la gente tiene problemas, pero esto se trata de pasarlo bien, celebrar el año nuevo, brindar y celebrar las cosas buenas de la vida.
El desfile de las rosas comenzó en 1890 como una iniciativa de algunos residentes de la ciudad de Pasadena para mostrarle al país y al mundo las bondades del clima de este estado, ya que mientras en el resto del país se sufren temperaturas inclementes porque hay mucha nieve y también hay lluvias congelantes, aquí en California el sol sale todos los días. Además, las flores adornan los jardines de las casas. Lo que ha cambiado a través de los años es la tecnología que se usa.
Tenemos esta bella carroza aquí con esta mujer genio que tenemos ahí arriba y van a estar saliendo fuegos artificiales de la botella.
Esta edición, La Melodía de Vida, también abordará el tema de los desamparados en Los Ángeles, como la fundación que está permitiendo que muchos indigentes tengan una nueva vivienda. Las 42 carrozas estarán, como es usual, decoradas completamente con plantas, flores y semillas.
Tenemos decenas de miles de pétalos de flores. Unas de mis favoritas son las 12,000 iris azules, las rosas blancas y las claveles rojas.
En Pasadena, California, Liliana Escalante, Univisión.
Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan.
And we're also going to chat with YouTube phenom and singer Alex Boye. He's going to be riding on the Donate Life float, and he has a really interesting, inspirational story that he's going to share with us as well.
There's all kinds of stuff happening right now at the Tournament House in Pasadena this morning as we count down to the 2019 Rose Parade.
We were talking about what people were wearing, and this is something Frank Buckley and I always talk about when we interchange in the newsroom. What Frank Buckley is wearing. Frank, do you have the leather coat on like Michael Ullman's going to have tomorrow morning?
I do not have a leather coat on. I'm wearing, what am I wearing, Jess?
A pea coat.
Yes.
I'm very impressed with this. You know, it all matches, by the way, Mark. It's all color coordinated. The exact color.
Very sharp.
It even there's a collar in there.
Hey, easy.
And that has navy in it. And then there's this,
Dana.
and then it matches. And then he's got navy pants, navy shoes, and he even had navy gloves on. It was like stylist material up in here. All right, you guys, imagine this scenario for a second. One day, you're digging in the trash outside a famous London theater. And just 5 years later, you're actually performing in that London theater, opening for Olivia Newton-John. It happened.
It's incredible. Our next guest says it's all about learning how to take lemons and make lemonade. Take a look.
You can be bitter, 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 or you can be better, better, better. When life gives you lemons instead of champagne, don't worry, little children, and don't
And that man in the video is the man sitting next to us, Alex Boye, YouTube star and sensation and singer. Welcome. It's great to have you here.
I'm so honored to be here. Thanks so much.
Looking forward to talking to you about that lemon to lemonade thing in just a second. But first, you have this song Paradise with Coldplay that has about 75 million views on YouTube. How did that come together?
Well, our version is, the version that I did is a Swahili version, an African version of Coldplay.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to take popular songs and do Africanized versions of it. I did one, a Taylor Swift version of Shake It Off, an African version, and it just took off. It went nuts. And so I started doing a whole bunch of those covers.
Love
and my mom was the happiest because she always used to tell me, Tunde, my name is Tunde, my African name, Baba Tunde Abayomi Boye, but you can just call me Al. But she used to
Common
always
spelling?
say,
Sorry.
she'd always say, Tunde, you need to put some African influence, some of our culture in your music. I said, Mom, nobody wants to listen to African music. I live in Utah, right? And so anyway, finally I did it, and that was that song. The first song we did, the Coldplay, we call it Poponi, which is Swahili for paradise. Paradise is their song. And so when I called my mom, I said, Mommy, I can't believe it. She said, you stupid boy, I told you it was successful.
Mothers always know. Mothers
Moral of the
always
story,
know.
right? Listen to your mother, man.
But actually, at one point, you were abandoned by your mother and father.
Yeah, it was really, really tough. When I was 11 years old, my mom said she was going to go to Nigeria, back to Nigeria, just for 3 weeks. I didn't see her for 8 years. And I was mad, bitter, angry. I was put through the foster care system and everything. And I ran away from that a couple of times. And that's how I ended up, on the streets for a little bit, But, and I blamed my mom a lot. But it's years later, I come to find out that, my mom, she went off a gentleman who was, very well off. And he wanted to take care of her and, get married and everything. And so she told me, look, she wanted to come and bring me back. That was her goal, get married, bring me back. But he didn't want me. So, and she was working on the rail. In the US, you call it subway, right?
Yeah.
In England, you call it London Underground.
Yes.
Her job from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning was sweeping the rails, debris off the rails and rats and all that kind of stuff, just to keep me in school.
Wow.
She did that for 5 years. And so after I'm learning all this stuff, and I feel so bad, I'm like, Mom, I'm so sorry, because I was just mad and angry and hurt, for 8 years without a mother. So, I've done a lot of things, to try and make up for it since then.
Well, it's incredible that the reference we made about lemons into lemonade, there was a stranger that approached you and said, you can do better, and actually handed you a lemon.
Yes. I'm ashamed to say this, that I've eaten food out of the trash. And here's the thing, I don't have a problem with eating food out of the trash. The problem was when I started getting used to it. And that was when, and right at that point is when I had a half-eaten burger in my mouth. And this guy came, he did like a Kobe Bryant and just slapped it, intercepted it out of my hand. I'm looking at him, I said, are you kidding? That's the clean version, right? I was like, are you crazy? And he just said to me, son, you are better than this. You are not trash. Take your hands out the trash. You are made for greater. You are better. And I was just like, what? All of a sudden, I felt like I was in this, I don't know, one of these motivational movies and stuff, and the music playing. But it just woke me up. And all of a sudden, I'm like, where am I? It's like, I'm not supposed to be here. And from that day on, I made a promise to myself that I'd never shame my name and that I'll always try and do something constructive for myself and for people around me. It changed my life.
It has changed your life. You have made a great success of yourself. You're living a wonderful life now, and you are representing that in the Donate Life float this year. Tell us about that.
I was so excited. They found my song on YouTube. I was like, They asked me, would you be able to, can we have your song played at the parade for our float and Donate Life? And it's so amazing. And I said, yeah, sure. And I was like, what's the Rose Parade? I have no stinking idea, right? I'm this crazy dude from England. So I said, I went and I Googled it, and I about fell off my chair. I was like, I called my mom, and she, again, she was like, I told you, you stupid boy. I tell you, like, just listen to your heart. You will make it. Anyway, I've been to the events for the last 3 days, and I'm one of those guys, with the donors, I'm one of those guys that did not put the tick on my driver's license. Last night, or for the last 3 nights, I've been with them, listening to the stories, listening to a gentleman standing there, and there's a woman has a stethoscope, and she's listening to his heart, and that is her daughter. It's heart.
Oh, right.
And I got on stage, they asked me to speak, I got on stage, I said, first of all, before I go on stage, I'm gonna go and register to be a donor. And I did it on stage, on my iPhone, right there and then. And I said, my goal is I'm gonna tell every single person I meet to do that, because it changes lives
Wow.
It really
Alex,
does.
I love you. I love you.
Me too.
I love you so much. You're so great. God, fabulous. And you know, he's going to be the featured performer on the Donate Life float. Be sure to catch it tomorrow morning during KTLA's live parade coverage that starts at 6 a.m. I'm not kidding. I love you. You're amazing.
And you brought an instrument along. We'll ask you to play it out as we head back to Mark and Christina.
I'll hold this for you.
Okay, I want you to get a rhythm. Just clap your hands.
Okay.
Get a nice rhythm. Okay, yeah, go on. That's right.
We're not really known for our rhythm.
Thanks, Amber. The parade is tomorrow, but today's the big day for the famous floats. KCAL9's Leslie Marine went to Irwindale. Those floats are on display and being judged.
From the dances of Polynesia to a trampoline on top of a replica Carnival Cruise Line ship. You even have Kool and the Gang singing Celebration on another float.
It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, Stella Rose.
All 40-plus parade floats were finally completed just before 9 this morning.
Nothing that you see here is fake or artificial. It's all real plants, organic material.
But this couldn't have been possible without the hundreds of volunteers who worked several overnight shifts to make each float come to life. They helped place thousands of flowers exactly where they needed to be.
We have flowers from 100 different countries representing the 100 countries that our team members come from.
This year's theme for the Rose Parade is the melody of life. Over at Donate Life's float, they have photos of donors who help save lives like Paulina Guevara's.
It brings me memories. It brings me like the day when I got a call for my kidney transplant.
With the floats now fully completed, it was time to judge. The best floats will be honored. But the biggest honor will come tomorrow when they get to show off all their hard work. Well, aside from all the excitement, the singing and the dancing, you do want to look out for some of the surprises. Some of these floats will have fireworks. The Rose Parade begins tomorrow at 8 in the morning. Reporting from Irwindale, Leslie Marin, KCAL9 News.
Welcome back. Celebrating their 16th year in the Rose Parade, the Donate Life float continues its mission to save lives by sharing the gift of life.
And I have to introduce to you our next guests. They exemplify exactly that. Jody Harskamp, a pilot with Alaska Airlines, truly gave the gift of life to her colleague, Jenny Stansel, and they're here to tell us about it this morning. Ladies, good morning and Happy New Year.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
So tell us, how did you two initially meet?
We met when Jody's house caught fire in 2012. It was a total loss, total devastation. And I brought her over a lasagna and 6 bottles of wine.
That's a friend,
Yeah, that's
right?
a great friend. So, Jody, you heard about Jenny's battle, and then what?
She sent out an email at work asking for O-positive kidneys, if anybody would be willing to step up and register and see if they'd be matched, and I signed up, and we were a 5x5 genetic match, and
Which is the best you can get.
Which is the best you can get, and the transplant happened March 13th of 2017, so we're almost 2 years into it, and no complications, no problems.
No, I feel fantastic.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Right here. Do you hear that a lot from me?
Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
hear that
you're
a
welcome.
lot. I think her every day.
Well, here's the incredible thing as I was learning about you ladies is you weren't necessarily, you were colleagues and you brought the lasagna and the wine, but you weren't necessarily friends before this happened. And many would think, gosh, that is an incredible gift to give someone that you know, kind of know, right?
Well, we didn't know each other at all. I mean, the first time we ever met was when she showed up to deliver the lasagna. So, and then we flew together one other time. And then when I got the email, I was like, Jenny, Jenny, Jenny. Oh, I think I know Jenny. And so really, we're just total acquaintances. But you know, you're just human beings helping each other. So.
What message do you have for someone who may be watching who either needs a kidney or any type of organ, and someone who may be able to help?
If you're thinking about ever donating a kidney, I mean, obviously sign up to be a registered donor on your death. But then if you want to do a living kidney donation, I mean, it's the most amazing gift because I get to watch Jenny, you know, raise her 3 kids and be here and be alive, and that's no greater gift. And then if Jenny was her own advocate when she needed a kidney. She was out. She would bring applications to Starbucks and like hand them to people and say, "Have you thought about being an organ donor?" And you really have to be your own advocate. And you can also contact any transplant center or Donate Life and learn about being a living kidney donor or a living tissue donor or a living liver donor. There's lots of things you can donate while you're alive.
Yeah. How are you feeling, Jenny?
I feel fantastic. I feel fantastic. Yes, I'm living my life. I'm doing things that I didn't think were ever possible, and I feel amazing.
Here's the other thing, Chris. These ladies have a ton of energy. I hear you guys are going to walk, dance the whole route.
Really?
Is this true?
She gets to ride. I have to walk.
I get to watch her walk.
I saw her. She was cheering on everybody on the float, getting them ready. You guys have a great time.
impressive.
Nice to meet you both. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yep.
Donate life.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot.